All right, here we are once again. My name is Jason Flame, Chief Instructor at Moorpark Karate and Krav Maga in Moorpark, California, joined by my co-host, Mr. Kevin Kowalczik in Littleton, Colorado, representing Revolution Martial Arts and Raptor Extreme Karate. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. How are you? How is everyone doing out there in the social media world?
Well, let's see. If anybody is watching right now, if you want to comment, let us know you're here. And our topic today, just our Thursday thoughts, are we want to talk a little bit about goal setting because sometimes people, when we ask about setting goals, they're like, "Well, where do I start?" So, Mr. K, why don't you take that first? What's a good place to start? Where do we start when we're setting goals?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of things I could say about goal setting. The first thing, as far as where do we start, I think first of all, you got to set a goal that's high, that you believe in, that you believe you're worth, right? And you got to know your why, right? Why are you doing that? So I think when we talk about goal setting and where to start, why are you setting that goal? If you say I want to be a millionaire, I'm just throwing something out random, right? You want to be a millionaire. Okay, why? You can't just be so you're rich. Do you want is it because you want to help give back to other people? You want to give back to those that helped you? You want to create opportunities? Like you got to know your why, right? You want to lose 30 pounds. Why? Why do you want to lose 30 pounds? Is it so you can live longer, so you can be healthier? It can't just be so you look better, right? You gotta know your why. I think so. That's a good place to start is set a goal. I say set unrealistic goals too. That's another thing that we can kind of talk about. But I think too many people play it too safe,
Yeah,
instead of setting their goals.
for sure. Hey, real quick, let's shout out to our buddy Jose
Hey,
Escobar.
what's up, sir? How are
He's
you?
he's checking in. He loves that we're talking about goal setting. So,
I like that
uh,
10X. He's got the 10X hoodie on there.
oh yeah, for
He
sure.
knows what's up about goal setting.
And guys, you got to check out Connected Leaders Academy. Message Jose Escobar if you want to learn more about that. That's a group full of goal setters. But you said something that was pretty profound in the fact that when you set goals, you set unrealistic goals. And I think what you mean by that is I'm going to reach for the sky, right? I'm going to reach for the sky and set something that may push me outside my comfort zone. But let me talk about something real quick. When a white belt starts martial arts, looking at black belt as a goal is pretty darn far. It's out there, right? So that's a really good goal to have as a beginning student. Once you learn that you love martial arts, but it's breaking it down from there, right? Because we have white belt, yellow belt, purple belt. We have stripes that we test for on our belts. So it's taking that really big goal and now being able to break it down into smaller, manageable pieces where you could feel like you've made some headway, you've had some success. I saw a post the other day that says, as we train, we get better from our failures and we get better because of our successes. Our failures make us work harder. Our successes keep us motivated, right? So talk a little bit more about reaching for that big goal. Reaching for that big goal, Kevin. Talk about that.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I think when you set, like I said, big goals, crazy goals, like your goals should scare you. If your goals don't scare you a little bit, they're not big enough, right? But what happens if you fall a little bit short? Well, you still would have been 10 times better than if you would have, set an easy goal. Like for example, talking like in the business world, right? I work with some martial arts school owners and kind of help with those guys. I'm in no way any means a consultant, but just kind of give them some guidance. I feel like, and they say, oh, our goal is to reach, try to get 10 new students this month. That's nothing. Shoot for 20, right? Shoot for 20. Say my goal is 20. So what happens if you come up short and you only get 18? Well, it's still 8 more than you would have got, right? And we can apply the same concept to anything, whether it's in our personal lives, in martial arts, in business, in our health and fitness, like whatever it is, right? Set big goals, set crazy goals. Like
Well,
don't
I've heard a quote that makes me think of this is, shoot for the moon, and if you fall short, you still fall among the stars,
Among the
right?
stars. Yeah, absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
that's
I think what we do though is we tend as like humans just having a natural like safety and defense mechanism to like we don't want to hurt our own feelings and hurt our own egos. We set little attainable goals and think that that's the end game. Like you're talking about black belt is this hard up here goal, right, to reach. But we break it down into bite-sized chunks, right? Like first we get to yellow belt, then we get to orange belt. And I think that's important to do. But where I think a lot of us fall short in life is we set the goal as yellow belt, and that's the goal, and that's where we're complacent. That's where we stay content. Like, no, dude, you got so much more in you. You got to believe in your value. You got to believe that you're worth more, and you got to set your goals higher. Like, I think it's okay to have a big goal and to set it into little chunks to try to get there, right? Absolutely. That's a very smart thing to do. But don't get complacent and comfortable once you reach the small goal. You need to reach for something higher. I think
Right.
you'd agree with
Right.
that.
No, absolutely. And as we're talking about black belt as a martial arts goal, uh, what about after black belt? What are your goals after black belt? So when is a good time to start making goals? Well, yesterday is a good time to start making your goals. When you get a new belt, what are your goals for the next belt? What is your goal for black belt and beyond black belt? What you talked about your why. Why? Do I want to increase my fitness? Do I want to work on my self defense? Do I want to get better at my weapons? In martial arts we have so many different facets that we can focus on. But new belts, getting to black belt each week, each month. You actually taught me something really well, something that I liked that we implemented in our school, and you probably don't even know this, but I was at your school, and in your back room for your team, your competitors, you had this goal board. And so I came back to my school, and you guys can't see it here, but my students in the school know that we have a goal board. And I started with one sheet that had, like, I don't know, 26 lines on it, and then it filled up. And then we put up another one, and it filled up, and we put up
Nice.
another one. We have 4 sheets of students writing down goals. And that's the next thing that we need to remember, is that if you're going to set goals, man, you got to write those goals down. Write those goals down. Put them somewhere that they're in front of you. They're a constant reminder of that goal. So thank you for sharing that with me, because our students love it. They look
Absolutely.
at it every time they come in.
I got right here a little journal that I write down my goals every day. And some days I have the same goals written down from day to day to day, because it's not going to take me, I'm not going to get there overnight. But I literally write my goals down every day for what I'm trying to achieve, right? Whether it's in a year or in 5 years. I think it's important that people have short-term goals, right? That's kind of like we're talking about, those little bite size, those little small chunks, one step at a time. But you also got to set the big goals. You got to also have those let's see, a goal is not a goal until it's written down. Exactly. It's just an idea. It's just a concept. It's just a thought, right? You got to write it down, but then you got to take action on it, right? And that's the important part. And one thing that I think, Master Flame, you just hit on was, you said, what about after black belt? You said, what about after black belt? Well, if you know your why, let's go back to step one. If you know
Mm-hmm.
your why, then it doesn't matter what belt you got to. Like, some students, they get to black belt and they think that's it. They've achieved it and they're done. Well, their goal was just to get the belt. Their goal was just to get the belt. If your goal, though, was to get your black belt and you knew your why, because it's personal development, because I want to be physically fit, because I want to have mental toughness, because I want to, whatever it is. If you know what your why is, then you don't quit at black belt, because you know there's still more room to improve, right?
For sure, for sure.
So know
And
your
I want
why, write it down, absolutely, and then you got to take those steps and actions to reach your goal, right? Are you teaching anything with your students? Are you guys doing anything as to credible steps to reach their goal and keeping the accountability?
as far as, like, on our goal board,
Yeah.
You know, that's a great question. I check in with each student, because every time I see a new one up there, I go and ask them, and I ask them, why do you want to do that, or what made you think of that goal? Some of them are as simple as, um, they just want to learn their next form, or they want to get to their next belt. A lot of those are just real simple karate goals. Some of them are like, I want to get straight A's. So I've done some check-ins with individuals, but right now we don't have anything that we're asking for above and beyond that. But I'm going to throw this up here from Jose, and you know what? It's funny that he brings this up, because I pulled this up on my phone as you were talking, Kevin. There's this method. You've heard this, right? The
Yep.
SMART goal method, right? Be
Yep.
specific. S for specific on your goals. M for measurable, making sure that your goals, we can check them. Achievable, achievable, just outside that comfort zone, right? Relevant, okay? You want to have a relevant goal, and a time base. That's the one right there, is a time base. And on that goal board, it says, what is your goal and by when? It does have a date on there. So I'm
Awesome.
glad, Jose, thanks for watching, buddy. And thanks for putting that up there. But I wanted to share that with everybody too.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree 100%. Yeah, setting a time limit on yourself is really important too. I need to do this by this
Hmm.
date, whether it's this many months, by the end of the year, by the end of the quarter, like whatever it is, because it's going to help you keep yourself accountable, right?
Yeah,
And I like
absolutely.
something that you said too about write it down and put it somewhere where you're going to see it. Make it the screensaver on your phone. Post a sticky note on the mirror where you're brushing your teeth in the morning. We're going to see it every morning. Something that's going to make you like trigger that mindset, right? Of
Hmm.
getting into that zone, right? I think another big thing too is the people that you associate yourself with, right? When we talk about goal setting, are you surrounding yourself around other positive people that are setting goals that are working toward things? Like you've heard that old saying, you are who you hang out with, right?
Yep.
Or
Five people.
show me your five friends and I'll show you your future kind of thing. Yeah, exactly. Like, so what do you think as far as that goes? Is people are listening in today and they're going to set goals. They want to try to be better, right? And listen, guys, for all the other listening, we should be setting goals because we should want to do better. We should want to be better, right? You should want to be better humans. You should want to be more physically fit, be a better parent, be a better whatever, right?
Hmm.
If you're not setting goals, you're just kind of like coasting through life. You're just kind of the day to day. It gets real mundane. You have really no direction and purpose in your life. But my
Hmm.
question I want to ask you is what do you think about people that are trying to set goals and are trying to better themselves? Who should they look for to surround themselves with as they try to reach these goals?
Well, there's a reason why we do this show together because you and I, as most of my students and your students know as well, our relationship over the years has created this, this great bond. And one of the things that I love about it is we're constantly, man, we're texting each other pictures when we're at the gym.
Yep.
We're sending each other little Snapchats on this or that, different workouts. You're sending me things that are motivational, so we're going back and forth. So I surround myself with people that I know are not only like-minded but are at a level that I want to be at. And again, Jose Escobar is on this show right now watching, and the group that he's created has really helped me to elevate because I look at the group and I'm like, oh man, they're reading this or they're reading that. I'm going to go check that out, or they're doing this or they're doing that. I'm going to check that out. So sometimes we get surrounded by the people that it's kind of status quo. We're doing the same thing we were doing 5 years ago, 10 years ago. If I'm doing the same things that I was 5 years, 10 years ago, I'm not I'm not really growing. So I'm constantly looking for people that are doing things better, people that are doing things more consistent. And the big word here is the D word, discipline. People that demonstrate discipline are the people that I like to surround myself with because if I surround myself with people that have discipline, I'm more likely to be disciplined. I say it, to people all the time. If you exercise, your kids will exercise. If you read, your kids will read. If you read, whatever you do, your
100%.
kids are going to follow you. And I love the fact that we can surround ourselves with not just martial artists, but leaders within our community that help take us to the next level. So that's who I look to surround myself with. And of course, I've got friends that I've been, friends with for 20, 30 years. Love the guys. Okay. And right now, one of my friends is getting ready to go on stage and compete in bodybuilding. And I'm like, well, dude, like if he's doing this, every time I miss a workout, I'm feeling lazy. Right. So it's just that maybe that competitive nature a little bit, but those people that really push to the next level.
Yeah, absolutely. And don't listen to the people that haven't done what you're trying to do. Right? Like take advice and listen to the people that have done and got to where you want to get to. I think that's huge, right?
Yep.
I love it,
Absolutely.
man. I love it. Surround yourself with people that stretch you. Yes, sir. Yep.
Well, let's talk about, stretching outside our comfort zone. Let's talk about taking things to the next level. Uh, our sponsor of this show, Raptor Extreme Karate, coming soon to studios and schools all across the country. It's getting ready to launch. We're going to be at the Martial Arts Super Show, so we can't wait to show everybody what we have in store. Talk about the Raptor Extreme Karate program real quick.
Yeah, if you guys are martial artists, man, you guys should definitely be at the Super Show this year. It's coming up. It's going to be amazing. The Super Show is going to be awesome. But as far as the curriculum goes, that's exactly what it is. It's stretching people. It's evolving the martial art, taking the traditional concepts of martial arts to the next level. Right? It's teaching people to perform at a higher level with more intensity and more energy, and it's really creating a huge spark and a fire in our students that have been using it. We've been using it. A lot of separate different schools have been test using it. I know your students have been using it. and people are just, they're on fire right now. Their energies, it takes the whole dynamic of the school, the whole energy level of the school up. And there, it's really cool to see the students just passionate about martial arts. You know what I mean? You see those kids sometimes where they're bored. It feels like they have to be there. They're forced to be there. They don't want to be there. It's totally different, man. This curriculum is really, it's igniting something inside of students.
Yep. What I love about it in our school and what I'm seeing is that again, it is stretching them outside their comfort zone because extreme martial arts is not our forte. It's not one of the things that we've done consistently over the years. With the traditional curriculum and the sparring and grappling, it just adds another element. It adds another opportunity. When we talk about reaching the goal of black belt, do you want to compete? Do you want to perform? Do you want to enhance your weapons training? And that's what the Raptor Extreme program is all about. So, guys, thank you for tuning in and watching us today. I'm going to show you real quick just a little bit about the Raptor Extreme program. And if you have any questions, please let me know or reach out to Kevin as well. Thank you guys for tuning in today, and go out and make it a great rest of the week.
We'll see you guys.